Hello. Rhodey and I are outside. Happy Friday. It's my Friday off. And I know when you do live videos, you're supposed to do them when your audience is on social media. Nobody's probably on right now, but it is my day off and it's about 11 o'clock. As a matter of fact, it's 11 o'clock exactly since I just looked at the clock. And this is when I have time to do it. I have every other Friday off, so I'm off today. So today is going to be gardening day. This is the last weekend that I have before I start school again for 8 weeks for my last class to finish my degree. So I'm going to try to get as much stuff done in the yard the next 3 days as I can. I've been moving slow this morning because it is 11. But let me back up so I can get this tree in here. I'm going to flip the camera and we're just going to do a quick garden tour. I know that, sorry, I had something in my shoe. I haven't done a garden tour for a while because I didn't know if you guys are really interested in just me walking around talking about the garden. But the feedback and comments that I have from a lot of people is that a lot of people like it. I mean, really, when I started doing these videos, it was for my granny, you know, years ago, pre-COVID. So when I would walk around and talk about the stuff in the garden, it was like I was just having a conversation with her. Like if she was here and we were just talking. So it's just me talking to her. But now I'm talking to you guys. Anyway, check out the flowering cherry. It's ornamental, but it is in full bloom. The bees are all over it. It is so pretty. I wish it would last longer, but it only lasts about, oh gosh, maybe a week if we're lucky. So today it's supposed to be like 80, mid 80s. The quince is blooming. Tonight the low is only supposed to be like mid 40s, but then the next week or so it's supposed to get colder again. So it's still too cold to put tomatoes and peppers and stuff out, but I am going to be up potting a bunch of them and you guys will see them. I have so much work to do. I should just be working and not talking, but talking is way more fun. So anyway, I need to clean this bed up. You can see I halfway ripped out this soaker hose because I need to put it, I need to fix it because it was way buried under the dirt. And so I need to I cleaned this up, but I need to finish and I need to put the soaker hose back down. This corner is where you can see my cardboard mess, which Jay absolutely freaking hates. However, it's killing the grass, and this will probably be one of the last projects that I do because getting the garden and stuff in is going to be way more important than this. So I will just cover it with mulch and finish doing the edging because I left off over there last year. This is the last section that I have to do a flower bed all the way around the house and get it planted. And I have a massive thing of lamb's ears down here that I'm going to dig up part of them and make a border edging with them. But anyway, the dandelions are in full bloom, as you can see. So this bed is a mess. I piled leaves in here over the fall as I just will move them around and leave them in the bed to break down as, you know, mulch and compost. But some stuff is coming up. I believe that's a sea holly that I planted last year that I started from seed. I have 3 rose bushes in here. This one is several years older. These 2 I just put in last year, so they're little bitty. And I think I'm going to dig up and move this lavender because I put the lavender in before I decided to put rose bushes over here, and it's getting too big and I don't want it to crowd the rose bushes, so I have no idea where I'm going to move him. And this lamb's ear, as you can see, I need to clean all the dead stuff out, and we used to be just right here as a border. It has totally encroached. Last year I dug up like probably this much of it and it's taken over again. So I'm going to move a lot of that and get it out of here. And then sometime I want to move these irises because they're too dense also, and I want to put other stuff there. So over here, try to pan slowly so I don't make you guys motion sick. This is where Jay's fixing the sprinkler. So underneath this is a hole that he's dug. It's really quite the disaster out here. Here's the garlic that I planted in the fall. It's coming up. It looks great. This is the one bed that I have got done this year. I dug myself a little path. I need to get some mulch in here. I threw in, you can see the, I don't know if you can see the little teeny baby onions, and then I put cabbages and collards and other brassicas, some lettuce that I had that's just random. These are black irises, very, very dark purple. Call them black, that my cousin Kathleen gave me last year, and I just needed a home for them, so they got stuck there. All the onions wouldn't fit, so I had to do a small little row of onions over here. So I haven't done anything with all this, nada. Then up here, this pile is killing the grass. I have straw on the other side of the fence that we're gonna use the tractor to haul over and dump, and I think this is gonna be like the only part that I'm really extending the garden this year, because I have too much to take care of and get done. I don't have time to build up, but eventually I would like to just really, I mean, let's talk big scope. Eventually I'd like to have no grass, basically. Reddy would hate that though. But I am gonna try to get a couple hog panels and do a couple arches here to grow some squash on, because I want to grow some winter squash, and I don't really have the space for them yet, but putting them on the arch will save some space, so that's the plan. Rue, what you doing? That is the pile of dead tomatoes that I cleaned out of that bed, and there they lay. Here's the pile of all the other crap I've cleaned out of all the other beds. Here's the tractor. Okay, so the patio is a mess. There's actually 4 barrels if you count this one. You can't even hardly see them now. I need to clean all the dead stuff out from last year. The barrels, when we first moved in here, we put those half whiskey barrels there because this was really just like hard packed. You know, I want to say like gravel, but it wasn't really gravel, but it wasn't the best soil. So the barrels were great because then I could plant flowers up here. However, now that I've been working on it for several years, 5, I guess, seasons, the soil is really good. And so I'm thinking I want to move these barrels out and somewhere else out into the yard, and then just have this bed be like a kitchen herb garden, because I have thyme up there. I have sage, thyme, rosemary. So I had tarragon, but it's died, so I don't think it liked this location because I tried it twice with 2 different plants unsuccessfully. So tarragon's gonna get a new home. Here's the sink that our neighbors gave us for free. That's gonna go in the greenhouse. Here's the rose bush that Jay got me for our anniversary. Isn't it beautiful? I gotta find a place to put him. This is all stuff that will have to be planted. Celery, cilantro, mint that needs to be watered. He's looking a little taxed. Yarrow, these are lamb's ears that I dug up last year. Mint, petunias. These are the Asian pears. Some people call them pear apples. They're doing great. They've been in those pots. This, I think, will be their 3rd year. And they need a home. They need to get in the ground. They're okay in the pots because they're not dwarf plants, but they're very compact pear trees. They're not going to get big. I don't know if you guys can see the bees. They're everywhere. But they won't do good forever in these pots. So they need to go somewhere, and I don't know where they're going to go. So this bed I have not cleaned out at all. I have rhubarb out here, and it's not really happy in this spot. So he needs to get moved somewhere. It just hasn't done good. It's actually planted really close to, there was an old apple tree here that the stump is down under the ground, which Jay wanted to take it out, and I said it doesn't matter, it's just going to rot away, but I don't know if that's affecting the rhubarb, because with the flowers in here, there's, peonies and irises and columbine and a rosebush and all kinds of stuff. You can't even tell the stump is in there. But I probably need to move him somewhere. This bed is a veggie bed. There's kale that's bolting that I overwintered and we kind of snacked on all winter. I have not pulled any of the weeds out of here, so this all needs to be cleaned out. And there's mustard going to seed. And yeah, anyway. Oh, also in this bed, the soaker hose that I have under here had a blowout midsummer last summer. And so I need to get that soaker hose ripped up out of there before the plants get too big. I'm not going to be able to get something down there. And watering it with a sprinkler is a hassle and not efficient. So I need to get that taken care of. Tulips just opened up today. Yesterday they were buds. So I have quite a bit of tulips scattered all through here. I'm actually surprised that these over here that get more shade are the ones that bloomed first before all of the ones that get all the afternoon sun out this direction. Oh well. This is a like a miniature azalea. It was here when we moved in. You guys, if you could smell this, it smells so amazing, especially in the evenings. It smells like somewhere like if you mixed lilacs with a sweet tart. It's just so heavenly to sit out here on the back porch and smell it in the evenings. Here's my 2 pots that used to have Japanese maples in them. They both died last winter, not this winter, the winter before. So there was actually dead trees in here all last summer, and I finally just cut them out of here the other day. This one, you can see it's grafted on rootstock. So this little bush here, which I think is still alive, I'm giving it a little bit more time to see if it's actually going to bud out. This has sprouted from the root stock. So whatever was grafted as the Japanese maple on top has died. But this is a maple of some sort that they used as the root stock. So we'll see how it does. I may leave it in here. I may not. I don't know if I'd even be able to get it out of that pot. But anyway, so the greenhouse, let me warn you before I get you there, it is a disaster area. Oh my God. Look at it. I have not touched it since last summer. Nothing. So this is on my list either today or tomorrow. I have to completely rip all of this dead stuff out, swamp out the greenhouse, get some, amend the pots, get some compost in there, and some cow poop from down back, and get this all cleaned up and ready to go and ready to be planted. Before it's planted, I have some racks that I bring in here and I lay on top of the pots that I'll actually use to house some of the tomato babies that are going to be rehomed to other people. So I got to get this ready to go because the tomatoes are all going to get up potted over the next 3 days. And there's going to probably be a lot of them, and I do not have the space in the house. I have not cleaned out any of these pots. Need to do all that. I did come out and get the drip system going with my husband's help, get the timer hooked back up, and because the strawberries needed water, and I also turned it on in the greenhouse so it can start pre-moistening that soil. It's only getting like 2 minutes 3 times a day, but it's going to start getting it wet because once the soil dries out completely, it takes a lot to rehydrate it. But I have a million strawberry runners that I need to pull up and see if I can repot. I was going to do that in the fall. That didn't happen either. I did get the peas in several weeks ago, so they're coming up. I only planted 2, 4, 5 of these pots with peas, and they are snow peas. I can't remember if I put snap peas in this year or not, but I've kind of given up on shelling peas. One, because I don't have any little kids around here to shell peas. Who wants to shell peas? Not me. So these 3 pots I left empty because I have in the house, I started Malabar spinach, which I've never grown before. So it's going to be an experiment. This is a lovely pot of crabgrass. Look at that. Oof. Anyway, Malabar spinach is hot weather. It's not really spinach. It's a vining like a pea, but the leaves are edible. I've given up growing spinach years ago. As a matter of fact, I was going to do a video of the shit that I'm not growing this year, or sometimes any year. So there's a lot of stuff that I don't grow just because it's not worth the space or the time or the investment, or I'm consistently not successful at it for whatever reason. Spinach is one of them. I do not grow spinach. My plants get like this high and then they actually bolt. So I've given up on it. We eat more Asian greens like tot soy and collards and kale and that type of stuff. And so I'm going to see if Malabar spinach is a great hot weather replacement. Okay, so I have this bed that has my, oh gosh, it has a lot of daffodils, but it has chives, it has fennel. I have parsley that reseeds in here every year, so there's a few parsley plants. There's a lot of weeds. Can't see them in my shadow. So I'm considering maybe putting the rhubarb in here. Maybe it might like it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, moving on. This bed is also a mess. This is where Rhodey likes to run from the house and look down the field and bark at the world. So she was making like a dugout through here, so I put these pavers down. Well, of course, she just started using to the side of the pavers. So I'm going to rip these pavers up and I'm going to lay them in a checkerboard pattern. And in the spaces in between, I actually have some ground cover that's really hardy over in one of the other beds that I need to get out. And I'm going to plant it in the checkerboards in between the pavers. We'll see if that works. These are oak logs that have been inoculated with mushroom spores that the kids got me for, I think, my birthday last year. But I need to move them because they get too much sun here because we trimmed the apple tree. So I'm going to try putting them here because the greenhouse shades this whole area on this side. I actually had this bed really pretty with big hostas and stuff. Like 3 years ago, it had ground cover, it had hostas, it was gorgeous. And just, I don't know if it was the winter we had last year, like everything died. Nothing came back. I see that there is one little Artemisia ground cover that's coming back. That's him. I'm shocked. So I'm just taking a new approach. It doesn't get a lot of water back here, and I don't want to water it. So there you have it. And then here's my pile of dirt where I will be sitting and potting tomatoes. So that's about the whole yard. The tomatoes are still in the house. I need to roll them out so they can get some more sunshine. They've been coming outside just about every day. And yeah, I'm going to be doing several other videos, shorter videos on little stuff. I don't know if there's anything in particular anybody wants to see, but I have a lot to do, so I better get busy. And Rhodey just found her ball. What? Is it rumpus time? Okay, have a great day, guys.